Welcome, dear friend, to Am I Sleeping? Climb into bed and get cozy while we explore the stories that linger in the shadows of consciousness, reality, and nightmare. And tonight, we are going to read something that was never meant to be read. A diary found during the renovation of a suburban home in Oakwood Heights. A diary that belonged to someone who, by all official records, never existed. The only question you'll ask yourself is, am I sleeping? What you're about to hear is the transcription of this diary in its entirety. The names and the exact location have been changed for the protection and privacy of those involved, but everything else remains as written. The authorities have verified the authenticity of this document, though they remain unable to identify its author. April 3rd. I found the perfect house today. 1847 Willow Lane. 2 stories, 4 bedrooms, spacious attic, full basement, built in 1973, renovated once in 1998. The Henderson family live there now. Father, mother, 2 children, ages approximately 8 and 11. The father works long hours. The mother teaches part-time at a local elementary school. The children are well behaved, quiet. The house has exactly what I need. The forgotten space between the master bedroom wall and the upstairs bathroom. A construction error from the renovation, creating a narrow vertical chamber about 3 feet wide by 8 feet long, accessible only through a small maintenance panel in the basement ceiling. A panel hidden behind the hot water heater, completely invisible unless you know exactly where to look. Tomorrow, I'll make my move. April 5th. I'm in. It was easier than I expected. The family left for church this morning at 9:17 a.m. I watched them from across the street, waited 15 minutes to ensure they hadn't forgotten anything, then approached the house from the rear. The basement window I had previously loosened gave way with minimal effort. I brought only what was necessary: sleeping bag, collapsible water container, dry foods, waste bags, small toolbox, flashlight, notebook and pens. Everything fits neatly in my backpack. The space between the walls is tight, but sufficient. I've created a small platform using boards I have found in the basement. It's uncomfortable, but functional. From here, I can hear everything in the master bedroom and bathroom. Small gaps in the drywall, hidden by the bedroom's wallpaper pattern, allow limited visibility. The family returned at 12:43 p.m. They have no idea I'm here. This will be my home now. April 8th. 3 days in, and I'm adapting to the rhythm of the house. The father, Michael, leaves for work at 6:30 a.m. The mother, Sarah, gets the children, Emma and Tyler, ready for school, departing at 7:45 a.m. Sarah returns at 1:20 p.m. The children arrive home via the school bus at 3:35 p.m. and Michael returns between 6:15 and 7:30 p.m. depending on the traffic. The house is empty from 7:45 a.m. to 1:20 p.m. During this time, I can move freely, stretching my legs, using the bathroom, always cleaning meticulously afterward, refilling my water. I've discovered the kitchen pantry is an excellent source for replenishing my supplies. They'll never notice small amounts missing. The family seems happy, normal. They don't deserve what's coming. But then, neither did I. April 12th. A close call today. I miscalculated Sarah's schedule. Apparently she doesn't teach on Wednesdays. I was in the kitchen when I heard the car on the driveway. Barely made it back to my space in time. My heart was pounding so hard, I was certain she would hear it through the wall as she entered the bedroom to fold the laundry. I need to be more careful. Create a more detailed schedule of the movements. Know any patterns, any deviations. I can't afford mistakes. The children were arguing tonight. Something about a missing toy. Tyler accused Emma of taking the action figure. Emma denied it. Sarah mediated, suggesting that it was simply misplaced. If only they knew. The figure was with me now. A small companion in my narrow home. I'll return it eventually. Somewhere they'll find it and wonder how they've overlooked it. I'll use the little things to make them doubt themselves first. April 17th. 2 weeks now. The space between the walls feels smaller each day. My back aches constantly. Sleep comes in short bursts, never deep enough. But it's worth it. The plan, it's working. Small changes at first. A glass moved from where Sarah left it. A door left open that was closed. The television volume adjusted. Michael's keys relocated from the hook by the door to the kitchen counter. I hear them questioning each other. Did you move the keys? I thought I left this here. I thought that I left this there. Who turned the heat up? The seeds of doubt are planted. Soon they'll begin to question their own memories, their own perceptions. Just like they made me question mine. April 23rd. I found the perfect access point to the attic today. During my exploration time, a small hatch in the ceiling of the upstairs hallway closet. The attic is spacious, dusty, rarely visited. I've moved some of my supplies there already for safekeeping. This gives me more room, and it's easy to do during the day when the house is empty. The family dynamic is interesting. Michael is becoming stressed, but doesn't say anything directly. The children sense the tension. Emma, the older one, tries to mediate, taking on a caretaker role beyond her years. But Tyler, he withdraws, loses himself in video games and fantasy worlds. They are so fragile. A family held together by routine and obligation, rather than genuine connection. It would take so little to break them. I've started moving things in more noticeable ways. Rearranging family photos, turning books backwards on the shelves. Last night, I switched all the left and right shoes in the mudroom. This morning, I heard Sarah ask Michael if he was pulling some kind of prank. He denied it. They argued briefly before remembering the children were listening. Fascinating how quickly suspicion grows between people who supposedly trust each other. April 30th, nearly a month now. I'm becoming bolder. Last night, after everyone's asleep, I walked through the entire house, touched everything, sat in each chair, lay in the children's beds while they slept, stood over Michael and Sarah, watching their chests rise and fall. I could have done anything, everything. But that's not the plan. Not yet. Instead, I left small gifts. A pebble on Tyler's desk, a feather on Emma's pillow, a dead moth in the master bedroom placed precisely in the centre of Michael's side of the bed. This morning I heard Sarah find the moth. She accused Michael of putting it there. This wasn't funny anymore, she said. You're scaring the kids. He had no idea what she was talking about. The argument escalated until they were shouting. Emma started crying. Tyler slammed his door. The cracks are forming. Soon they'll shatter. May 5th. They're fighting constantly now. Michael thinks Sarah is playing mind games. Sarah thinks Michael is gaslighting her. The children are confused and frightened. Emma has started checking the locks on the doors and windows before going to bed. Tyler has nightmares and calls out in his sleep. I've been writing messages in the condensation on the bathroom mirror while Sarah showers. Just single words like watching, waiting, remember. She thinks it's Michael. Michael thinks she's doing it herself for attention. Last night, I heard them discussing whether the house might be haunted. Sarah laughed it off nervously. Michael suggested carbon monoxide poisoning might explain the memory lapses and strange occurrences. He's going to buy a detector tomorrow. That won't help them. The poison is already inside their home, inside their minds, inside their failing trust in each other. May 10th. The carbon monoxide detector found nothing, of course. Michael's next theory is that someone has a key to their house. They've changed the locks today. Sarah wanted to install a security system, but Michael said it's too expensive. Another argument, the children listened from the top of the stairs, and I listened from inside the walls. I'm running low on food. During my free time today, I made a thorough inventory of the kitchen pantry, noting all the items they have in abundance. I can take more of these without being noticed. The family seems to have an inexplicable surplus of canned corn. Lucky me. Tonight, I plan to make a significant move. Something they can't explain away. Something that will escalate this haunting to the next level. May 11th. Success. While the family slept, I rearranged the entire living room. Turned every piece of furniture to face the wall. Stacked all the books from the shelves in a perfect tower in the centre of the room. Hung all the family photographs upside down. The screams this morning were delicious. Sarah found it first, let out a cry that woke the others. The children were terrified. Michael called the police. They came, took a report, found no signs of forced entry, suggested it might be a prank by one of the children's friends. Or perhaps one of the adults did it while they were sleepwalking. The officers left, and the arguments began again. Michael accused Sarah of doing it for attention. Sarah suggested Michael might have a psychological problem he's hiding. The children huddled together on the stairs, whispering theories about ghosts and demons. No one suspected the truth. That someone lives in their house. Has always lived in their house. Watching. Waiting. Remembering. May 15th. They installed security cameras today. Living room, kitchen, all the entrances. Michael set them up himself, proud of his technical prowess. They didn't realise the cameras are useless. I know all the blind spots, all the ways to move through the house unseen. Besides, I don't need to be physically present to haunt them anymore. The damage is done. The trust is broken. They're doing the rest of themselves. Sarah has started keeping a journal of all the strange occurrences. Michael dismisses each one, suggesting she's becoming paranoid. The children have started sleeping in the same room. Emma's bed pushed up against Tyler's, so they can hold hands through the night. Tonight, I think I'll trigger the security system. Set off the alarm. Let them search the empty house while I watch from between the walls. Let them feel the fear of an intruder who can never be caught. Because he's already inside. May 17th. The alarm incident went perfectly. The family huddled in the master bedroom while Michael searched the house for the baseball bat. The police came again and found nothing again. The security company could only confirm that a motion sensor was triggered in the downstairs hallway. Sarah wanted to stay at a hotel. Michael refused, said they couldn't afford it. It's just a malfunction, he insisted. But they saw his hands trembling as It's just a malfunction, he insisted. But I saw his hands trembling as he reset the alarm. Just soft enough that they're not sure if they're hearing anything at all. Get out. Mine now. And always here. The power of suggestion is remarkable. This morning, Sarah asked Michael if he'd been whispering in his sleep. He hadn't. The seed is planted. May 20th. Sarah took the children to her mother's house today. Said they needed a break from the negative energy. Michael stayed behind. Had to work. Always has to work. With just Michael here, I've adjusted my approach. Men like him don't scare easily with subtle hauntings. They need something more direct. Something more personal. While he showered this morning, I placed his wedding ring, which he always removes before bathing, in the garbage disposal. When he couldn't find it, he tore the bathroom apart. Called Sarah, accusing her of taking it before she left. Another argument. Over the phone this time. He eventually found the ring where I left it, but the damage was done. More distrust. More division. Tonight, I'll make sure he knows he's not alone in this house. May 21st. Michael didn't sleep last night at all. I made sure of that. Small sounds at first. Tapping on the walls, creaking floorboards, the sound of breathing coming from empty rooms. Then more overt. His laptop turning on by itself, the television flickering, lights switching on and off. He called Sarah at midnight, begging her to come home. Said he didn't feel safe alone in the house. She refused, suggested he was trying to manipulate her. Said that he should call the police if he was really concerned. He didn't. His pride wouldn't allow that. 3 more calls to the police with no evidence of an intruder would make him look unstable. Instead, he sat in the living room all night, lights on, baseball bat across his knees, jumping at every sound. I watched through the gap in the wall, savouring his fear. By morning, he was exhausted, red-eyed, defeated. He called in sick to work. First time in years, according to his apologetic voicemail to his boss. He's sleeping now. I could stand over him, touch his face, but that'd end the game too soon. Better to let him wake up and find all the kitchen knives arranged in a circle in the living room floor, pointing inward like a compass to where he sleeps. May 22nd. Michael left. Packing a bag in the morning, he went to a hotel. Called Sarah, told her about the knives. She didn't believe him. Thought he was making it up to scare her into coming home. Their conversation devolved into accusations about mental health, financial irresponsibility, and past grievances that have nothing to do with the current situation. The house is empty now. I have free rein. I've taken a proper shower, cooked a hot meal, and slept in the master's bedroom. It feels strange to use the house normally after so many weeks of hiding. It's almost disappointing. The thrill of the secret is gone. But not for long. Sarah texted Michael that she's bringing the children home tomorrow. She can't miss any more work. The mother's patience with unexpected house guests is wearing thin. Michael is welcome to stay at the hotel if he's still having issues, she wrote. I need to prepare for their return. Make it special. Make it memorable. After all, this haunting is building to its climax. May 23rd. They're back. Sarah and the children returned at 3:15 p.m. The house was exactly as they left it. I made sure of that. No obvious signs of my presence. Nothing to immediately frighten them. I wanted them to relax, to think perhaps it was all their imagination, or Michael's. Emma asked where Daddy was. Sarah said he was taking some time to think. Tyler asked if they were getting divorced. Sarah didn't answer directly. She hugged him and said sometimes grown-ups need space. They ordered pizza for dinner, watched a movie. Almost normal. Almost happy. Sarah checked the security cameras twice, reassured by the lack of activity. The children slept in their own rooms for the first time in days. They have no idea what's coming. No idea that tonight is the night everything changes. May 24th. It's done. The plan executed perfectly. At 2:17 a.m, I triggered the security system. As the alarms blared, I made my presence known. Knocked on the walls, slammed the doors, turned the lights on and off. Classic signs of haunting. Sarah gathered the children in the master bedroom and called the police. While they huddled together, I left my final gifts. A pebble on Tyler's pillow, a feather on Emma's desk, and a dead moth just outside the master bedroom door. And the diary, this diary, left open on the kitchen table, where they couldn't miss it. All my entries, all my observations, all my plans laid bare, all my hard work. But one crucial difference, one twist I'll never see coming until it's too late. The police arrived at 2:31 a.m, searched the house, found nothing. Of course, I was already gone by then. Not hiding between the walls or in the attic, truly gone. They found the diary, read it, called for backup. More officers arrived. They searched every inch of the house, tore open walls, checked the attic, the basement, the crawl spaces, found my sleeping area, my supplies, evidence I had been there, just as the diary said. Sarah and the children were taken to a safe location. The house was sealed as a crime scene. Detectives interviewed neighbours, tried to identify this mysterious watcher. The story made the local news. Family terrorised by a hidden intruder. I thought that'd give me a better name. Michael was brought in for questioning, of course. The estranged husband is always the first suspect. But his alibi was solid. Checked into a hotel across town, keycard logs and security footage confirming he never left. The investigation continues. They're looking for a stranger. A random stalker who targeted the Henderson family for unknown reasons. They'll never find him. Because he doesn't exist. New diary, May 30th. Michael returned to the house today. The police have finished their investigation. Found no fingerprints, no DNA, no evidence of who might have been living in the walls. Just the diary, written in the hand that matches no one on their records. The family won't be returning. Sarah has filed for divorce, convinced somehow that Michael's behind it all, despite his alibi. The family won't be returning. Sarah's filed for divorce, convinced somehow that Michael's behind it all, despite his alibi. She's taken the children to her mother's permanently. The house will be sold once all the legal issues are settled. Michael walks through the empty rooms, touching the patches of the walls where the police tore through the drywall. He looks older now, broken. He stands in the master bedroom for a long time, staring at the wall that once hid his tormentor. He doesn't see me watching from across the street. Doesn't recognise me without my disguise. Doesn't remember the junior associate he fired last year after taking credit for my work. The promising career he destroyed with a single lie. The life he ruined without a second thought. He never knew my name. Never bothered to learn it. I was nothing to him. Invisible. A ghost in his life. Now he knows how that feels. The house at 1847 Willow Lane will go on the market soon. The listing will mention the renovated kitchen, the spacious bedrooms, the full basement. It won't mention the space between the walls, the hidden chamber where I lived for nearly 2 months, orchestrating the destruction of the Henderson family. It won't mention me at all. But that's fine. I don't need the recognition. I don't need them to know who or why I did it. The satisfaction is in the result, not the credit. Besides, I've already found my next house, my next family, my next project. 2156 Maple Drive. The Wilsons. Father, mother, 3 children, a beautiful home, terrible security, and a crawl space above the garage which would be perfect for a long-term guest. They seem happy. Normal. They don't deserve what's coming. But then, neither did I. The second diary was later discovered, and it ends there. The police never identified the author. The Henderson family never returned to the house at 1847 Willow Lane, and was sold 6 months later to a young couple who knew nothing of its history. Michael Henderson was eventually cleared of any involvement, but the damage to his family was irreparable. The divorce was finalised, and he moved to another state, starting over. As for the Wilsons at 2156 Maple Drive, police checked the address after finding the diary. There was no such house in the area, no family by that name in the county records. Perhaps it was misdirection. Perhaps the diarist moved on to another target, another home, another family. Or perhaps it was all just fabrication, the deranged fantasy of someone who was never in the Henderson home at all. The case remains unsolved, the questions unanswered. But there is one final note worth mentioning. During the investigation, detectives discovered that Michael Henderson had indeed fired a junior associate the previous year, a promising young man named Thomas Walker. Walker had submitted a brilliant proposal that Henderson presented as his own, securing a major client and a promotion. When Walker protested, Henderson had him terminated for insubordination. Walker lost his apartment, his health insurance, eventually his fiancée. He disappeared shortly afterwards. His family reported him missing. He was never found. So, the next time you're home alone and you hear a strange sound from inside your walls, the next time something isn't quite where you left it, the next time you feel eyes watching you in an empty room, remember this: not all ghosts are dead. Some are very much alive, waiting, watching, planning, and some have very good reason for wanting revenge. Thank you for listening to Am I Sleeping? If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment about your own experiences with unexplained occurrences in your home. And remember, sometimes the monsters aren't under your bed or in your closet. Sometimes they're between your walls, listening, learning, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal that they've been there all along.